see. Let me get her. And Kamala Harris considers herself to be her parents. First of all, and we know what her parents are, Indonesian mother and Jamaican father. So we come down here. While growing up in Oakland, she was immersed in both Indian, which is her mother, and African American culture. So she was immersed in it. They didn't say she was African American, but she was immersed in it. So just because somebody dip you in some water don't make you water. But anyway, let's go down here and see a little bit more about her. Here it says Kamala Harris in full. Kamala Debbie Harris. Oh, born the month I was born, 4 years later than me. Her father, who was Jamaican, and her mother, we know, was Indian. So, we see Kamala Harris was born from non-American parents from Africa. Her father, Jamaican, and her mother, Indonesian. And her mother, Indonesian or Indian, which is Indonesian. So those are her parents. So, where was she born? She was born in California. So they said she grew up there. Okay, grew up. That's how I saw it, because if you were born there, that would have been one thing. Let me go back to it. They say she visited India as a child and was heavily influenced by her grandfather, a high-ranking governmental official who fought for Indians. Of course you do. That's what you do. Kamala Harris has made history as you see the first woman. Now, that's the part I take no issues with. But the first woman and first woman of color. We're going all the way back on what I said in part 1 of this segment I'm talking about. She's all the way back. She takes herself all the way back to where the silent generation were called colored people. That was after the Negroes and before African American. So I guess her parents is in that area where she's considered colored. So that's where she is. The first colored. I don't even know where she's colored at. She has white skin as far as I can see. To serve as the vice president. Now, where was Kamala Harris born and raised? I heard she was raised, and so Kamala Harris was born in Oakland, California, to parents who had immigrate. If you know what immigrate is. So immigrate is when you settle. For what I understand, and I did some research, but I don't remember everything off the top of my head. They came from India and Jamaica, immigrated, and from my understanding, settled in America. Not to become a part of America, but to immigrate here and live here, and the way I understand it, hold on to their nationality as the way they were from, which is Jamaican. So her father came over here and was considered Jamaican, and her mother came over here and was considered Indian. Both from Africa, if I remember right. India is in Africa. But anyway, so they came over here. She being born in America. unlike Joy Reid, calls herself African American, colored, black woman, and all of that stuff. So, next thing is how Kamala reflects America's changing. Okay. It says, here it is. Harris will be the first black woman and African American elected vice president. See here? She, I don't even know what I've heard out of her mouth say she's a black woman. I think I heard out of her mouth she said she's African American. But what is on her biography? What is her internet, social media, Google biography does she claim to be? So, politically, she claims to be an African American black woman. Now, is Kamala black or South Asian? Also, so India is in Asia. Is Asia in Africa or Asia in Europe? Whatever. I don't know. It'll come up. Anyway, as the daughter of the Indian and Jamaican immigrants, they immigrated over here and immigrate into American society, holding on to their nationality. They're still a part of their country, but they just live here, I guess, to root Kamala Harris in America to make sure that when her time comes, she runs for office. That's how I understand it. But American still doesn't know how to talk about multiracial people. They're just people. Anyway, why would you want to talk about them? They're just people. Kamala Harris is just a woman whose Jamaican father married an Indian woman and birthed her and raised her in Oakland, California to be, I don't know, I heard her father had some issues with this part of politics, but I don't know why, to be whatever he considered her to be, but she came out to be a black woman and an African American woman. Then here it says, so who is of Indian Jamaican heritage? So Miss Harris, who is of the Indian Jamaican heritage, initially ran for Democrat nomination, but Harris grew up in a household with a Jamaican father and an Indian mother. Her mother, I don't care about that. So Kamala Indian roots. So, besides being the first black woman on a major party presidential ticket, she also the first Indian American. So she considers herself Indian American, African American woman. Her mother, so she representing both Indian American and African American because both her parents are from Africa. They say she got close to her father, but does she consider herself Jamaican American? Does she consider herself Jamaican American? Harris was born in Oakland. We read that already. In the American, let's go down. How Kamala Harris, black and Indian heritage. She has a black. Do she really have a black heritage or she have a Jamaican heritage? So she just plain considers her daddy black and not Jamaican. How you consider your mama Indian and your daddy just simply black? You don't consider yourself Jamaican? I don't see that in here anywhere. So, but Kamala Harris is not an Asian American. To some South Asians and Indian Americans, she's an Indian. Why? She's an Indian American because she effing born here. She was born here. How can Asians be born here and not be considered child? Anyway, she's an Indian. So what? You got people in America that they're just plain called Indians. On the ranch, $5 Indians, who's not really Indians or whatever. So I think that there's those, whatever. So they want to do this fact check, and Kamala Harris is, they kill me with the first black woman and Asian American on a major presidential ticket. So you go through all of these things, and this woman is a whole lot of people. She's an Asian American, an Indian American, a Jamaican American, a black American, and an African American. This woman is 5 different things, all up in one little woman. Now, let's see what it says with the daddy. Harris, 55, whose father is an African from Jamaica. So now her father is an African. Is it? Oh, okay. I don't know why I'd be thinking India is in Africa, but okay, this is in Asia. Okay. Jamaica, and mother an Indian. So, is currently the U.S. or whatever. So, that point in there. Then they have Harris has made history. Her migrant background, South Asian mother, and okay, now they call the man Jamaican and Jamaican father. And the man black. Anyway, Kamala again. But anyway, we see Harris is similar to Cardi B, as I mentioned in part 1 of this video. The difference is Cardi B simply doesn't tell you, doesn't say who she is. Kamala Harris simply doesn't say who she is. But she called her, but people who write these articles call her a lot, calls her 5 different things. African American, black woman, Indian American. They don't want to call her African American, which is what her father is, even though her mother is Indian American. Her mother is Indian. But they can